Are you still manually fixing and reconcile layers? No, please stop. Here is what you want to do. Use your custom command and done. How do we do this? Well, this is what today's live show is going to be about. But before, let me jump to the chat and say hi to you. See how are you doing today? Maybe read some of your comments, your questions, your suggestions before we jump to today's live show. All right. So, for people who don't know me, who are new to the channel, my name is Irving, and I show up each Sunday at 10 a.m. That is Philadelphia, PA, the United States time. So, if you are interested on saving time in AutoCAD, we create custom tools like the one from today, and we create dynamic blocks. Basically, we share anything that can save you some time. That's what we're gonna share live each Sunday. So yeah, so we have some people connected already on the chat. I'm gonna start reading some of your comments. Um, so as you already saw, today live show is gonna be about creating this awesome tool that is gonna quickly help us fix and reconcile layers in your current drawing with just a simple click, right? Let me read some of your comments on the chat. Let me know where are you connecting from, right? For instance, um, I am connecting again from Pennsylvania, the United States. However, I'm originally from Peru in South America. So yeah, where are you connecting from? Um, so Raula is on the chat. Raula says hello. Hi, Raula. Thank you for being here today with us in another AutoCAD live stream. We're doing this on YouTube as well as on Facebook, so you can find our live shows in those two platforms. Um, so Raula is also saying, "How are you?" Uh, I'm good, Raula. Thank you for asking. I'm really excited for today's a new command that hopefully is gonna save you some time, right? So yeah, I'm very excited for that. Um, so yeah, thank you and hope you are doing great also. So we have three people connected on the chat. That's awesome that you guys are here with me today. We're gonna jump to today's live show in a moment. But before, I wanted to say hi to you and maybe read some of your comments. So thank you, Raula, for always being an active a member or subscriber of the Lazy Arquitecto. All right, we have five people connected already. That's awesome that you guys are here with me today with a new live show. Um, so I think we are ready to start. As always, during this live show or during my presentation, you can interrupt me at any time, right? Because this is live. So uh, I want to create that interaction with you. It's not just me going and explaining things. For that, I would do just a regular video, right? But no, I like to do these live streams because it allow me to interact with you, maybe answer some of your questions while I'm explaining this. So yeah, so again, don't be afraid to interrupt me during my presentation and I'll be able to read your comment. And I think we are ready to start. Okay, so first of all, in order to create our custom tool, we need to understand, oops, sorry, let me hide myself from the screen so you can enjoy a better live show. Let me do that. Okay, nice. All right. So first of all, we need to understand what are or what is this message here at the bottom that says unreconciled layers, right? What's happening there in order to create our custom command that is gonna quickly fix that issue for us. So let me explain you by so right now this is an xref. So let me open that xref, right? With right click and open xref. So it's right here. That's my open xref. So unreconciled message or error or notice happens when you are using xrefs and you create a new layer. For instance, I'm going to create a new layer on this base that I'm xrefing on this other drawing. So I'm going to create a new layer. Let's call it new layer, like so, really quick, nothing fancy. And I'm gonna save now this with Control S. So now look what happened when I go to my drawing where I'm xrefing this. Of course, I need to update my xref by clicking here, um, or I can also um, open my xref palette, right, with the shortcut XR, and you can see that my xref needs to be updated by this icon. That's what it means. So I'm gonna right click and reload, and look what's gonna happen. So it says reference has recently changed. You want to compare? No, of course I don't want that. But look what happened. I immediately got this unreconciled new layers problem or issue. So, and if we go also on the layer palette, you can see that there is over here uh, uh, a new group with some of my layers, and you can see that the new layer that we just created it's showing right there. So basically what's happening is um, AutoCAD is kind of telling us, hey, you need to manually review this process, right? Because new layers were added to your base XREF. So you should reconcile those layers. Why? To avoid potential errors when you plot, when you print your drawing, right? So that's the whole idea or story about unreconciled layers. Now, there are two ways to handle this, right? Some people, uh, they don't want to get this notice at all. They don't want to fix the reconcile layers either. They don't care. So what they would do is, let me show you. They will use a system variable layer notify. So layer notify will right now, if we use it, it's 15. But if we set it to 0, that will avoid this notification for the unreconciled layers, as well as this on your layer palette. But that's not fixing the problem, that's simply avoiding it, hiding it. So again, some people like to do this. I don't recommend it. I prefer to fix this for good. So that's why what this new custom command is going to help us do that. This command reconcile layers in your drawing. Simple like that, right? So with one single click on any drawing at any time, we can simply click on it and you can see your layers were reconciled. Boom. There is gone over here and there is no more notification error over here at your status bar. That's great, right? So now let's go and jump. How do we do this now that we understand what this and reconcile layer means in AutoCAD. So the way we do it, there are many ways, of course, but two ways that I'm going to show you is that we can create this tool or command by going to the command macros over here. If you're not seeing it, you can simply type command uh, macros, right? And that's the command to open the command macros palette. Um, so over here, what we can do is simply right click on any of these commands and pick the command macro editor. So once we do that, we can rename, add a description, and of course, change our macro code to create our new command. The second option is, of course, there are many people that don't have these command macros because this is a new feature from the newest versions of AutoCAD. So you still can create commands using your tool palettes. Everybody have a tool palette, right? So the tool palette, again, you can open it with Control 3 if you don't see it on your ribbon. So it's not there. Control 3 will open your tool palettes. So on the tool palette, you can basically add anything to it. I'm going to add this text by left clicking on it and dragging it to the tool palette. So once there, you can simply right click on it and pick properties. And again, you will have the same options from your command macros palette where you can rename, add a description, and of course change your command macro code. All right. So for today's presentation, I'm gonna use the command macros, and again you can do this in those two options. So I'm gonna do it over here with this. So what I'm gonna do is again right click and use command macro editor. I'm gonna rename my command. I call it lazy lay rec layer reconcile command. So here I'm gonna of course change my description. This command will reconcile layers in your drawings, something simple. And then we can specify an image too over here for our new command if you wish. For now, we're gonna jump to the macro code. That's the important part that we need to learn. But before, we have a comment on the chat is Felicia Hernandez. Hi Felicia. Dice, buenos días, Lazy Arquitecto. Bien la transmisión en vivo. Bendiciones. Uh, for people who don't know, again, my original country is Peru in South America, so we speak Spanish. And Felicia is basically saying, good morning, Lazy Arquitecto. Good live stream. Take care. Thank you, Felicia, for being here. Hope you learned something new today, something that can save you some time. So let's keep moving with today's live show. So over here, again, the important part was the macro code. And the macro code that we're going to use is first, we need to set up the balloon notification on time, right? So for instance, you can have the balloon notification forever they're showing on your status bar, and we don't want that. So what we can do is utilize a system variable called tray time out. So this system variable basically will give us the options to show how many seconds we want our balloon notification to show up or to stay, right? So I'm gonna press enter with this semicolon, and then I'm gonna say that I want five seconds uh, for my balloon notification to stay on, and then of course go away. So, and then I'm gonna accept that with another semicolon that represents an enter. right? So that's the first thing that we need to do in order for this command to work and simplify your life. Then let's jump to reconcile some of your layers, right, from the tool palette. So you can see that right now we're good. We don't have any problems of unreconciled layers over here, and we don't have any notification at the bottom of our status bar because we already fixed that. But the way we can do it is by using the um, layer command or its shortcut also, but the command line version um, with this character over here, and then we're gonna say call for the layer command, or the shortcut would be LA, of course. So once we do that, we will have many different options, but first we need to accept that with an enter, and we can use the E shortcut, and then we can say all. So in order to say all of the layers to, of course, make it reconcile, we can use this character, the asterisk, that is going to help us with that. And then finally, we need to accept that with two enters. So the last part of our code would be a way to let us know that, hey, your layers were reconciled, right? How do we know that, right? So that's why we need a way to know, physically see a message or an alert or something, right? So the last part, that's what it's gonna do. So let's use this parenthesis, and inside, let me use the alert option, and then use, of course, type whatever I want my alert to be. For instance, I want to keep this thing simple, so I would say something like layers were reconciled, right? Something simple. You don't need to make this as hard. And then finally, we can accept that with another enter or semicolon. So this is the code that we're gonna use, and let's quickly test it to see if it works. If it doesn't, we can quickly figure it out and fix it, right? Live. So let's click OK to accept that, and let's quickly test it. So in order to test it again, I'm gonna open my Xref, right? Open Xref is right here. So once I go there, I'm gonna create another layer. So let's click that, and let's say new layer 2. So once we do that, simply we can save with Control S. And once we go to the drawing where our Xref is and click the reload, we're gonna have this message. Of course, we need to fix our layers. That's a new layer number 2 over here. So let's quickly test our command. So we go over here and let's click the lazy reconcile layer. So let's check over here, and over here also at the status bar our errors or message. So let's go here and let's use it. Click. Layers were reconciled. Okay, thanks. I can press enter, and boom, your layers were automatically reconciled for you. There are no more notifications like so, which is great. All right, guys. So, what do you think about this new command for you? Of course, right? I use it every time at the office where I work. So, for people who don't know, I work at a architecture office. Um, so yeah, I use this command every day. I don't know how many times per day, because I like to avoid any future or potential errors, right? So I don't want to hide this balloon or message like some people will do it. I prefer to fix them, in a way to fix them quickly with a single click. It's by using this new tool that I just shared with you guys. So let me know on the chat what do you think before we wrap up today's live show, right? Uh, and while you do that, while you let me know on the chat if this is gonna be helpful or not, um, there is something that I want to mention, which is that we have three more different lazy commands like this one that is going to help you save even more time. So you can simply find that link, the link for that. I'm going to put it on this live stream description, on the video description of this live stream, so you can check that out. There are three of my most useful macro commands that I use. One of those is the auto numbering, and even and two more. So if you are interested, you can check that out later. All right, we have five people connected still uh, with us. That's awesome that you are still here with me today. Um, and I hope you learned something new. So let me know in the chat, what do you think about this command? Would Are you the person that hides the notification for the reconcile layers, or are you the person who likes to fix it? Right? Let me know in the chat um, before we wrap up today's live show. So we have seven people connected. That's awesome, guys, and that you are here with me today. We created this awesome command that hopefully is gonna save you some time. So yeah. So while you do that, while you let me know in the chat what do you think. I'm gonna mention something very important, which is uh, say thank you to these folks, right? Thank you very much for supporting my work, either on Patreon or here on YouTube as a YouTube member. Because of you guys, uh, I am right here doing these live shows. Thank you for supporting. Um, So, if there are no questions on the chat, I think I'm gonna wrap up today's live show and start thinking about our next live stream, right? Because again, if people, for people who are new, I do these live streams every Sunday at 10 a.m. That is Pennsylvania, United States time. So yeah, so I think if there are no questions for today, I'm gonna wrap up today's live show and start thinking on our next live stream, right? So we have eight people connected on the chat. That's awesome, guys, that you are here with me right now, live. Um, Raula is there. Felicia Hernandez is there. I know because you commented. So thank you, Raula. Thank you, Felicia. Um, and yeah, so we have. Oops, I was about to wrap up, but we have a comment. It's William Antonio López Jiménez. William says, pero qué bueno que fuera en español para poder entenderlo. William, for people who don't know, again, I'm from Peru in South America, so my second language is Spanish. So William is basically saying, qué bueno que fuera en español. I hope this would be in Spanish so I could understand it. William, I many people had suggest me to do videos in Spanish, and I thought about it too. So I might do one, yeah. But I wanna do it maybe for a special occasion, a special celebration or holiday or something like that. But definitely, I'm gonna do a live show in Spanish, yeah. So just stay tuned for that. And the best thing is to turn your notification on YouTube if you are on YouTube. So that way, if you do that, if your bell notification is on, you will get notified whenever I do these new live shows, right? So you don't miss it. But thank you, William, for your comment, for your suggestion, and yeah. So thanks. Um, uh, Gracias, William, por tu recomendación. Um, yeah, so we have 6 people connected in the chat. We have 2 thumbs up, 2 likes. So that's awesome too. If you can, if you think this live stream was helpful, right? You can like the live show because that really helps, right? That helps um, with these platforms to show our live streams to even more people, right? So yeah, so thank you, William Antonio. Um, okay, guys. So if there are no more questions or suggestions from you, um, I think I'm gonna wrap up today's slideshow and start thinking on next week, right? On the next Sunday. So what the topic is gonna be. By the way, you can pick our topics from the community tab on YouTube. I always like to ask you what topic do you want to do for next week and something like that. So we do polls there. You can vote and decide what you want to see on our live show. So yeah, check that out again on our YouTube community tab. You can vote and have that power to decide what do we do next. All right. And also, while you leave your comments on the chat, while you let me know what you think about this new command that we just created for AutoCAD, I wanted to mention that. Let me see if I can show it to you instead of just talking. So I want to mention that you can, from all of the commands that we do here on this channel, and we have a lot, we have many different commands that we created. You can simply uh, copy and paste those commands if you are a member of our YouTube or part of the community. If you join our channel, you can simply go to the community tab and you will find all of our custom commands. This is the one that we created 3 weeks ago. So you can simply copy and paste the code, right? Come here, select it, copy and paste it into your AutoCAD so you can create quickly. You don't waste time. That's a way for me to say thank you to you, right? Sharing all of these codes so you can simply copy and paste. And there are other different also materials that I use on my videos on or on my live streams. So yeah, check that out again if you are part of our community. Yep. All right. So no more questions. Thank you very much for being here with me today and see you next Sunday.